Is the superintendent of the Jackson County Intermediate School District, Kevin Oxley. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Bart. Thanks for the opportunity to get out and enjoy some of the sunshine this afternoon.
Yeah, what a nice day.
Yeah.
Good to see you again. I just saw you last week at the Big Brothers Big Sisters event.
That was a really neat event. Yeah. I like that magician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's neat to see, we've got several school districts that are participating in the Bigs at School, so I know there are a number of school students and staff that were honored that night.
Yep. Really nice to see mentors in the schools helping out the kids.
Well, last time we were talking about the ISD was extensively during the cyber attack, and I know a lot of our viewers are very curious about that. Is there anything more that you can tell us?
Yeah, the investigation is still ongoing in terms of data mining and things of that nature, so I can't give a lot of specifics, but what we have seen happen, and it's probably happening in your world a little bit too, this just whiplash effect of technology. A couple of years ago with COVID, you needed to open up the networks and make it available to everybody, any place, anytime. And fast forward to now, and you're closing everything down and you're afraid to allow access at all hours of the night or to all kinds of devices. And so it just gives this whiplash effect. And then the other thing we're seeing is that technology used to be really inexpensive for schools, and that is not the case right now. And it used to be very timely. And that is not the case right now. Everything is slow. It goes through a filter of cybersecurity. Parts are hard to find. Labor is hard to find. And so just a little bit of a immediate switch in how technology is viewed and used.
And this is really, it's across the board, across the country. Everyone is using the same types of technology. I was telling you last week, we heard a story about a school in Massachusetts. They haven't been able to turn the lights off for 2 years. And it's computer controlled and they can't override it, and they leave the lights on 24/7.
Yes, I mean, and that's what people don't understand is everything that plugs into a wall is connected to the network. And so it's not just as simple as saying, well, we'll use textbooks and pencils. Yeah, your HVAC doesn't run, a lot of your operational things like door locks and lights and things like that won't work. Everything's part of the network. And so it's just very, very complex.
Well, I'm glad that you had a team that jumped right on it, and I know you were able to minimize damage. And it sounds like when you look at some of the other cyber attacks that have happened, a relatively fast resolution.
Yeah, our tech team was fantastic. They were around the clock for a couple of days, making sure everything was secure and safe again. And very good assistance from law enforcement at the higher levels at the federal government level. And our insurance company was super in terms of responding. So
great. Now, the other thing that's happened just this week, we had a number of swatting calls to 911 saying there were active shooters on school campuses, which were just not true, but it elicited an incredible response by law enforcement, first responders, right here in Jackson too.
Yeah, really Jackson has much to be proud of, even though this is a sad event that created some angst. But the law enforcement responded incredibly fast, and Jackson High School and the administration and the teachers and the students did a great job during it. So you hate to have to be tested in such a manner, but it proved a lot of the processes and procedures that are in place will work.
Yeah, and I guess if there's something good to come of it, it's that the law enforcement was able to see in real life what their response and how fast it was going to be.
It is a shame, there's so many pressures on kids and adults these days to add that kind of, incident to it, but people seem to handle it well, and they're back in school and trying it again. So.
Yeah, well, let's hope they find those people,
Yes.
Because in Michigan, that's an act of terrorism and it's a 20-year felony. So I think there'll be a lot of people applauding when that person is caught and sentenced.
You bet.
All right, we've got some good things happening right now at the ISD. Your new central campus, the former Frost School, looks like you're making a lot of progress there.
They really are. Great work by local contractors. Mercer's been our general contractor, and they got us in on time. We have about half of the building filled. Early childhood classes are in there, and our emotionally impaired students are in there, so we have temporary occupancy in those areas. There's still 3 more areas that'll be filled with kids. But you can kind of see the early childhood part of the building are the Huskies, and so you can see our mascot there. And then the other side of the building, the emotionally impaired students are the Red Hawks. So we have a series of dogs and birds as our mascots. But you're looking down the early childhood wing there. It's color coded, so you see the green way at the end, and you can see the cubicles now for the little ones, so they can store their things when they head to class. And the middle section that connects the 2 wings, this is the Red Hawk area, and again you can kind of see the red trim and the Red Hawk logo there. And then this middle area are the Ravens, and these will be cognitively impaired and autistically impaired classrooms, but those classrooms won't move until next fall. One of the things that always amazes me, early childhood classes, they fill them up. And you can see they've got something for every little one that's in the classroom. But really nice, bright classrooms. They look out over the park. And we were able to put some technology in, and this is the feature that the kids just love. These new playgrounds are amazing. They are for handicapped children, so they are safe. You can see that as a rubberized turf to minimize any impact if you fall. And the kids, boy, that first day when they walked in the building, their eyes were just, they could barely stand it waiting for recess to go outside. But the really nice thing about this is these are kids who've never had new facilities or their own facilities. We've always just housed them wherever there was space, anywhere in the county. And now they're going to have quality facilities for the next, well into the foreseeable future, well past me, let's put it that way. So it's really a neat thing for the kids. And we will have a soft open house for neighborhood, and we invited people in the neighborhood to just come and walk through and see what was happening inside here coming up the 16th of February. We'll have a grand opening in August when all of the student facilities will be ready in the facility, and then it won't be until the fall of 24 that the entire facility is done. So there's going to be construction in and around there for a while.
Well, it's amazing how much progress has been made, and just looking at it from the outside, it looks awesome. Yep. Congratulations. It
was a really smooth move, too. I mean, we made that all happen over Christmas break, and no boxes got lost, and everybody's stuff got from point A to point B, so it went well.
Great. Now, coming up in May, there's a special education millage renewal, and that is just to continue the rate that we've been paying going forward, right?
Yes, back in 1998, these enhancement millages started, and this is simply a renewal. It's no new tax. 100% of the dollars raised through this millage flow through us and back to the local district. So none of it stays at the intermediate school district. And it is to cover their mandated but not reimbursed costs for special needs students. But it really isn't a millage election for all students because they are mandated costs. And so if there aren't dollars to reimburse those costs, the dollars have to come from someplace. And so we hope people will look at the facts and make a determination and vote on May 2nd.
Yeah, I think this county has always been very responsive to the needs of special education families, yes. And that's great to see. And I'm glad to live in a community that does care.
You bet.
Yesterday, the governor announced her new budget for next year, and it looks like in every area of education increases. So as an administrator, Ned, you've got to be happy to see that the governor and the legislature have a focus on increasing and improving funding for ed.
Yeah, it really is nice to see. And, this has been somewhat of a bipartisan effort over the last couple of years to see some of those funding levels increase, especially for special education, which is nice to see. And I think it's a time where schools can make sure that they're doing what they can for all students, and hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah, and President Biden a couple nights ago said he wants to get teachers more money. So, and I think that's been a challenge too, is just getting talent in school districts, and you've been challenged with that too.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of openings across the county. It's a challenging field. It's very rewarding, but the rewards look a little different perhaps than the corporate world. Just making sure that pipeline continues and positions are filled is important.
You've got a program called Talent Together. What's that?
Yeah, this is a statewide initiative. There are 49 of the 56 ISDs involved in this, and we were part of the original 12 to help put this together. But we have applied for a grant that would create a pathway to teacher certification, much like a registered apprenticeship. And so it's a little different than traditional college. You're learning, you're getting paid on the job, and it's more practical experience. And I think that helps when it's tough in the classrooms. A lot of times that's about experience, and maybe we can get some older people with some learned and lived experience in the classrooms and make it possible for them to do that without quitting their life and going back to school for 4 years.
Yeah, and well, you're already doing that at the Career Center.
We are, exactly.
Well, we appreciate all the updates. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Bart.
Good to
Appreciate
see
it.
you. Superintendent of the ISD, Kevin Oxley. Well, this week we are